It's that time, y'all. Oh, crap. I used the wrong intro. Ah, screw it. Who cares? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Uh, for those of y'all that come in and snuck in the back, sitting in the back row, if you can't see, if you can't read, it's cool. But this is South Coast Kane Jordan Page. And I been working all week, like most. And I come out here to check on make sure that everything's going to be okay for tomorrow because the game is on ABC. So I just wanted to make sure that my antenna and signal strength and all that good jazz was up to par because 24 hours from right now we'll be watching Miami kick North Carolina's ass. Oh, but anyway, yeah, I was sitting there doing all this stuff and you know checking out some things on the computer, sipping on the cup. And I'm like, damn, let's see how everybody's doing tonight. Uh, what's going on, Crip, Phil? How y'all doing? Uh, so nothing really. I don't really have an agenda. I don't really have any topics. You know how we roll on Friday night. Couple of things. This past week, I mean, the game against Georgia Tech, that was just shitty. That was shitty. Uh Cheney was down. I don't care who you are. Cheney was down. It's just my opinion. My opinion. My opinion. Okay. But Cheney was down, but yet everybody's like, well, they should have took a knee. I know that. I'm not arguing that point. Yes, they should have took a knee. But the fact is, the refs screwed us all game. And they screwed us at the end. You know. Uh and I'm going to say that. Now, granted, I think I talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it. Uh yeah, Phil, I'm on StreamYard, dude. Uh just give you a hint. This is a secret. Don't tell anybody. But if you see my name wherever it is over here, because usually if I point where it's actually showing on my screen, it's on the other side. I don't know. Anyway, if you see, excuse me, my name on the bottom, I'm on StreamYard. If not, I'm probably doing this the regular YouTube live. I rarely do just the YouTube live, but unless I'm doing like, on the patio like Sunday morning this past week. Oh, but um, this past week, at that game, regardless of whatever you feel, I'm actually I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad it happened because think about it. If Miami would have played that shitty, excuse my language, but it's Friday night. Bryce, B Rice. Uh, if Miami would have won that game, they would have got a false sense of whatever. But me personally, I'm kind of careful when I say this, but I'm kind of glad they did lose it. Okay, don't pull the pitchforks out. There's a reason. With Miami losing it, I think they may learn something. You know, I think more good will come from them losing as opposed to them winning, if that makes any ounce of sense. But all week, everybody's been bitching and moaning and complaining and crying and distraught, distressed, depressed. about the loss, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, it was just one of those games where what went wrong, and the refs decided, hey, we're doing our thing. But and again, I'm not really ridiculing those who were down in the dumps. I'm not doing that. No, I'm just saying that's what I saw. I mean, hell, it made me kind of depressed, but I'm like, you know, yeah, I mean, that's just it, Bryce. But I think in the grand scheme of things, and it may just be because I'm old and I've seen the wins, I've seen the losses, but I just think better things will come from Miami losing that game instead of winning that game. You know. Uh and it's it's crazy because I said this the other day, but 2 months ago, 2 months ago, if you would have said Miami was going 7-5, 8-4, you got ridiculed. Everybody's like, no, we ain't gonna be worth of this, we ain't gonna be worth of that. They may get a winning record. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They may be 500. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then 2 weeks ago, you know, if you said, well, gonna go 7-5, you would have got the pitchfork. So it's crazy the evolution. And I'm not talking everybody, but if y'all have paid attention, and y'all are some smart cookies, okay? Y'all aren't idiots. Y'all are smart, okay? One, you're here with me, okay? Nah, uh, excuse me, but y'all know the people I'm talking about. You know, I know Crip, my man. Uh, he was taught. I mean, I agree with Crip. I always think Miami's going to go undefeated and win every game and this and that. That's just how I am. Yeah, I have a reality side, but it's kind of a blend. It's a blend with the Miami me and the reality. I just see it all together, and I always hope they win. But you know, it's just I find it fascinating. I find it fascinating how the fan base, and y'all know who I'm talking about, okay? How the fan base evolves and adapts so quickly with the changing tides that is Miami football. Oh, I just and I'll be honest with you, truth be told, I kind of had to just stop watching it because I was just like, I mean, the national stuff, they're gonna talk their noise, they're gonna talk their BS. And I'm gonna tell you right now, just my again, this is all my opinion, okay? But what happened Saturday night was not the greatest coaching blunder of all time. Definitely in the top 10, but it wasn't the way, the evil sports programming network was talking. Uh, but it's just, it wasn't so much the game, it was just the behaviors, if you know what I mean. Uh, you know, by Wednesday, I was just laughing, you know. And again, I learned a long, long time ago. And again, this is just me. I learned a long time ago that I just I don't take it that seriously. In other words, yeah, I love it when they win. I get excited. I get happy. I'm like, yes, yeah, I get happy. And then when they lose, I don't. It's not like my world comes to an end. All right, my world, my life includes the Hurricanes. It's not Miami includes me. In other words, you know, I take it all in stride, but that's just me, just crazy old man down here in South Louisiana. But uh and it's just and again, I've talked about this before with other topics, but you just we're so inundated with all this rhetoric on the YouTubes, the Discords, the X's, the Facebook, the social medias. Everybody, you just keep seeing, you see the same thing, you hear the same thing, just like with anything else going on in this interesting world that we live in. It's like you just keep hearing it and hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. And you just, there comes a time where you just got to hit that off button. Problem solved, you know, problem solved. Oh, but anyway, yeah, last week is what it is. It was what it was. Oh, no, don't do that. I'm multitasking here behind the scenes. Oh, so as far as tomorrow goes, oh, I will be doing a pregame show. Oh, and then after the game, I will be doing a post-game show because uh I'm on vacation. I took it because of the Clemson game, not realizing, hey, it's a 2-for-1. I get North Carolina and Clemson. And then, of course, I'll be on vacation during the Florida State game. Always, always take a week's vacation for Florida State. Always. That's just how I am. And besides, I like it when I get paid to watch Miami football. Who wouldn't? Well, I'm sure there are. But uh I won't go into too much detail right now about tomorrow's game. Uh I'm just going to say I really like Miami's chances. I really do. But I think I'm not so much interested in the wins and loss, the win or loss. I'm more interested in how does the team from Mario down, how do they respond? How do they get up, dust themselves off? Put a band-aid on the skint knee they got. You know, this is how we see how this team is going to react. Tomorrow night is gonna be a telltale sign. Oh, they may start out slow and maybe they'll kick you. I don't know. But I tell you what, I'll be willing to be willing to bet anything that if Miami is up with less than a minute and got the ball, I guarantee you Tyler Van Dyke or somebody's going on a knee or two. Somebody will be on a knee. I I don't really anticipate uh I don't anticipate that that they're going to run the ball to run the clock out. No, I think they're going to hit that knee and they're going to hit it hard. You know, I don't think we're going to see that again. And you know, another thing that's really bugged me is, Mario made mistakes at Oregon. Okay, I mean he's learning. I'm not being an apologist. I'm not. I'm just saying. You know, there was, and again, the blunders of last week was top to bottom. It was everybody. You know, but I think, I mean, I'm hoping that, uh, I'm hoping everything was talked about, lessons were learned, you know, and they move forward. It is what it is. You know, uh, And that's really all I'm gonna say on that. I just thought it was hilarious how everybody thought, everybody went into Chicken Little mode last week or this week, you know. Uh, I honestly feel, how you like that? Phil. I think it's gonna be I think Miami's gonna get back to their consistency that they've had the first 4 games, because you think about it. They have really been consistent throughout the season. Uh, even though they haven't really played anybody and everybody wants to talk about the A&M game, et cetera, et cetera. But if you look at those 4 games, Miami was pretty consistent in their MO and their approach to winning the game and playing the game, you know. Um, but other than that, I mean, ain't nothing really going on. Like I said, I was just out here making sure I got a good signal for tomorrow night, and then uh I'm like, screw it. I haven't seen anybody. I've been hearing all this nonsense. Everybody's all down in the dumps and everything. Phil, another new profile pic. How you doing, man?
I can't do the Georgia Tech one again.
It's all good. I'll just save it for next year or for basketball or baseball. How you been, man? You okay?
I'm not. I mean about the Canes. I'm not. I don't think they're
Well,
gonna win tomorrow.
why not?
Or do I
You
want?
said you
That's
don't.
what I
You
think.
you
Yeah.
said you don't think they'll win.
I mean, the way they played last week, I don't think they're gonna win.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I'm not trying to ridicule. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, Phil. I'm just saying, you know, it's gonna be all right.
We're lucky we're still ranked.
Can't worry about that. Just got to win. Got to play. They have. My opinion is it's just how they play.
I mean,
You know,
fine. That could,
there's a if like okay again last week. If they'd have won that game, might as well have lost it because they played like crap. Now if they were out there doing their best, no interceptions, being successful, and it was just a dogfight, that's a different story, you know. But wins and everything, they'll be all right. I just, I just, I just want them young men to be set up for success because we got the talent. I'm still sitting here saying this. You know, when Miami is playing like they are capable of playing, I think I pissed Phil off. I don't see anybody in the ACC beating Miami. I'm not sitting here saying they're going to go undefeated. I'm just saying talent wise, they have the ability, but that's just me. So, Phil, what you been doing this week?
I mean, yeah, I'm getting ready. I mean, definitely trying to lose all the Georgia Tech things I see on social media.
Nah, bruh.
Because
Don't do that.
everyone's like
Don't
the
don't don't
worst
do
thing
that.
in the world.
No, no, no. Just say, hey, I'm gonna give you a helpful piece of advice. Just accept it. Okay. Don't run away from it. Don't hide from it.
I mean,
Just
fine. The coaching staff said it himself. It was his fault. He even said, yeah,
well,
he
when it
admitted it. So
I mean, and trust me, I've been through the highs and lows. Okay. And
it's only
just
one loss. It's okay.
yeah, I mean it just okay, you were wrong. They lost. Okay, yeah, you're right. We played like crap. Okay. I mean, don't feel bad. Don't think that I haven't got any kickback this week, you know. And I'm like, we have a good laugh. I'm like, yeah, I mean, when you throw to the wrong color jersey, you know, but Katie was down. Oh, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it happened, It's like I said the other morning. you can sit there and cry and bitch and throw a fit. You can scream and holler and do whatever, but it's not going to change the fact that they still lost. You know, and again, like I said earlier, it's just me. But I, I look, I am a big supporter of Miami. Okay, I'm all in with them. You know, but I don't, whether they win or lose has nothing to do with me. You know, I just figured, hey, okay, you lost, move on. but but yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week, man. Finally got some rain over here the other day. It actually rained all day. I'm like, damn. Of course, it's supposed to get friggin' cold again this weekend. I think Monday morning, I think they're talking like mid to low 40s up here. I'm like, holy hell in a handbasket. I gotta find my jackets and stuff. I might have to wear my hoodie. Ah, yeah, that's right. Today is the 13th. But
Yes,
you know,
today's Halloween 13th. Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. It's just another day. Ah,
Got some good
something
games
else.
tomorrow.
Do what? I'm sorry, Phil. What'd you say?
Other than we got some good games.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I was gonna say, isn't there some type of, I think there's like an eclipse going on tomorrow afternoon or late morning or something. I don't know. I think I saw something about that. That'd be pretty cool.
News today.
Oh, so Phil, you bring up a good point there talking about the games.
Yeah,
Uh
that we got Oregon, Washington.
that I tell you that I'm kind of looking forward to that game
The
to
winner of
see
that game
if
can make the playoffs.
see if this Washington team is really that good.
And then we got USC Notre Dame. I mean, now we have the same time as Miami, but
I you know I was so busy, or we were so busy that I think we missed that. I think what they went like three overtimes USC last week because they were late. Uh I want to say let's see, where's it at? Here we go. Go to last week.
Louisville beat Notre Dame.
Okay, I'm
But yeah,
looking.
USC won.
Yeah, they went into overtime and they beat Arizona 43-41. Uh and from what I was seeing and hearing, it was they were having some coaching blunders also. So I mean it is what it is. Uh since you brought it up, I think USC is going to beat Notre Dame. I think Louisville exposed them.
Even I
You
mean
know,
Duke did pretty well against Notre Dame.
yeah, yeah. I just,
Notre Dame was
I,
just lucky to get back to back to back prime timing all against ranked team. They got a tough schedule.
yeah, and Miami's is about to get starting tomorrow. Miami's schedule gets
That's
pretty
what they get for being
intense.
independent.
And watch, that would be crazy if Miami runs the table.
The
You know,
one loss Georgia Tech.
eh, it
The
happens,
one
dude.
and only loss, but we end up going to ACC champion. Actually, I don't even know about that. Actually, I mean, technically, we still could, depending North Carolina.
Well, me personally, like I said a second ago, I just don't want to see what we saw last week. You know what I mean? That's my thing. Win, lose or draw. I would rather them get out there, do their best, come up short. It happens. But uh last week, They played like crap. It was
People are gonna say
it
Miami Knights jersey curse.
no. It was a perfect storm. The coaching, the players play, and the referees. And I'm still, I mean, I'm I'm just saying, you know, this last, I know I keep bringing it up, but it just
We can't blame the refs.
do what?
We can't be blaming the refs. Then people are gonna, it's,
Well, and that's fine. I understand what you're saying, but no, the refs didn't throw the 3 interceptions. The refs didn't,
they'll come at us if we
call the
blame the refs.
plays.
But if Alabama blamed the ref, no one would care.
But I didn't see any holding on that touchdown run. Chaney was clearly down. Again, I'm not, and when I talk about the perfect storm, it was it was like a triangle, an equilateral triangle. Everything was equal, and it just came together. But yeah, I haven't, I have not seen that big of a ref blown call. Well, of course, the Fiesta Bowl, but since Cleveland Gary, and those who know. But anyway, let's get off of that. We keep going back to it. Let's
we go from Oregon and Washington back to that.
Yeah, we went off on USC, Oregon, and Washington. So, okay, and that's a 2:30 game. So
A&M Tennessee should be a good one.
So let's see the early games. I don't really see anything. Don't see anything that really gets my attention. But of course I say 2:30, but it'd be 3:30 if you're on the East Coast. We'll call it the middle game.
The
afternoon game. Yeah, you got Oregon and Washington on ABC, and then I tell you that A&M Tennessee game could be interesting over on CBS at the same time. And then of course at night, you got a lot of folks here that aren't very confident that LSU is going to beat Auburn. I mean, dude, I'm telling y'all, bro, these people around here do not like Brian Kelly. I'll Chip, Randy, whoever. But yeah, Brian, they don't like, they hate, oh my gosh, they are not happy with that dude. So yeah, I mean, even with LSU being an 11-point favorite, they're, they're not very confident. Of course, the USC Notre Dame game, of course, it's on the Notre Dame Broadcasting Company, NBC. I think USC is gonna. I don't see how Notre Dame's a 2.5-point favorite. I think USC is going to take care of them. And of course, we have our Hurricanes. They're going to come out. Ooh, I don't know if y'all paid attention to the point spread on this Miami, North Carolina game. It started out the beginning of the week around 3.5 to 4 points for North Carolina. It's down to 2.5. 2.5. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. And then you got Missouri and Kentucky. I think that's going to be a real good game too. Because Missouri, they blew that game against LSU last week, which was it's crazy. I don't know if anybody in the SEC West plays defense. I mean, I just don't know.
Thing is, that game happened the same time as Miami, so we ain't watching that.
Right. You're exactly right, Phil. Let's see, the LSU Auburn game's at 6, so the wife will be inside.
Duke is 8, or at least 8 my time.
Yeah. So yeah, the LSU Auburn game starts like 30 minutes before my Miami game. So the wife will be inside watching it. I'll be out here watching it. And then yeah, the USC game,
You
our
can literally do
game.
Oregon, Washington. It goes right into Miami after anyway,
Do.
because they're both the same televised channel.
Yeah, it's on the ABC. Yeah. So cool. And then of course you have so the prime time you got USC, our game, the Missouri Kentucky game, all kicking off at the same time, and then you got over on Fox about 30 minutes after our kickoff, you got UCLA and Oregon State. That could be interesting too, you know. And then yeah, you got the NC State and Duke over on the ACC network. So I mean that's just the top 25. I don't know uh as far as the whole FBS. Oh, we got games going on right now. Tulane's on top of Memphis, Fresno State, and Utah State. Hey, speaking of Fresno State, I didn't realize we're about to make a hard right. So y'all put your seatbelt on and hang on. I saw earlier that who was it? The Cavender the Cavender kids,
Oh,
the
basketball.
short sexy one. Is it short sexies I call them? Was it Haley has entered the NIL, entered the transfer portal? I thought they retired from basketball, and then I saw where she enters the transfer portal. I mean, I'm like, okay. I thought that was crazy. I think it was Haley. I don't know which one it was. They both kind of look alike anyway. Uh, do, do, do. Well, where's tomorrow? They don't have. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I mean, the top 25, you got some pretty interesting matchups, but as far as just regular, I don't want to say common folk, but the non-top 25. Uh screw it, because what's gonna probably happen is I'll
Gators versus
probably
South Carolina.
yeah. What'll probably happen is I'll probably just kind of dawdle around for the morning games, and then I will probably be sitting like most people in front of the Oregon Washington game, and then going to the Miami game. Uh I don't know if they have any late games. Oh, okay. Yeah. You got Boise State and Colorado State around 9:45
Like Hawaii.
Eastern, and then San Diego State and Hawaii, or as they say, Hawaii. It's coming on at like 11 o'clock Eastern. So I mean,
Thank
dude,
God we don't play Hawaii.
hmm, that'd be crazy. Actually,
Next week,
you
next year, you have to play the Pac-12 teams or former
mhm,
Pac-12 teams plus
yeah.
SMU potentially.
Tomorrow, if you really if you really like watching college football, you've got from I'm gonna use Eastern time so I don't confuse anybody. Uh you've got from 12 noon to 12, you got 12 plus hours of football.
Plus, you got tonight. Colorado's tonight.
Oh, how did I miss that? That's because I'm talking, listening, scrolling, thinking. I'm just doing all kind of good stuff. Excuse me. You said okay. Ooh, Stanford in Colorado. Yes, that's at comes on at 10 o'clock tonight. That could be worth a watch.
And you go even anyway games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for college.
Yeah, I noticed. I have noticed that. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I noticed they started doing that. Because I've been waiting to see, because they've done it last year for last. You'll have uh the mid-tier the mid-tier conferences, they'll have like a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, then you got a Thursday night, then you got so basically you have football on every night of the week.
And we got
Hang on,
NFL too.
hang on, Phil. I got somebody knocking on the door. Let's see who it is. Give me just a second. Well, Mr. B. Rice. B. Rice, my man. How you been, bruh?
Jordan, Phil, how you guys doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing? You're not one of the depressed people from last week, are you?
No, man. Look, man, I was at that game. I got my frustrations out, man. Uh, said what I needed to say, and you know what? No matter, look, we can talk about that. We could talk about this, that, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, bro, what we say and what we do is not going to change the outcome of that game. You know,
Yeah, I saw your late night stroll through the dark.
yeah,
I think your AC or something kicked on,
it
or
it did. I had to move away from it, and it's funny because my dad watches my videos, and he
uh-huh.
says this, and my dad texted me the other day. It says, "Man, I would have stayed in the dark too."
Oh, hey, look, I've heard it. I've heard it all this week, but a lot of the guys I work with and all this, they, we all have fun with it. I usually
Mhm.
ignore the idiots.
Yeah, yeah. But what blows my mind, and this is the last thing I will say about that game, because right now that's not important. Right now we're on the UNC. But this is the last thing that I will say about that game, is that the fact that, Miami did go to the ACC, like higher up, and literally got the main dude to look into that review. How are you gonna tell me it's indisputable evidence?
Well, yeah, and we'll hit this and quit it, but you know, when I saw it happen, it blew my mind because I was watching on TV and all the replays they were showing talking about how they should have took a knee. Every replay you see, you can see where Cheney is like half his body is on the ground,
See, and
elbows,
what
shoulder,
and
and you got
what's
photos coming out. I mean,
yeah,
but
and
you
and
know,
what's great and what's crazier, and promise you this is the last thing I'll say about this game, is that me being a social media freak, one of the media reporters that I do follow that does cover the Canes, Adam Lichtenstein,
oh
there's a
yes,
photo
yes.
there's a photo of the Georgia Tech player before he gets into the end zone. He initiated a slide.
I saw that. I saw that, and I'm like, dang, I didn't
Because
think
one,
about
because
that.
because once you initiate the slide, you're basically down.
That's it. That's it. But
And
again, you
yeah,
know,
at
it,
look
it
at the end of the day, you know, should have never been in that position to begin with.
true.
But but you know what? It's done. It's over with. It happened. Now we're on UNC.
And
Now,
I just hope, and this was the first thing I thought of. I just hope that doesn't mess with the psyche of Cheney.
you
You
know,
know,
I mean that's definitely a hard pill to swallow. But like Cheney, I think through his career has never fumbled once,
right? Well,
once. And
and again, I guess I look at it from perspective that regardless of what happens, win, lose, or draw, you know, how are the young men doing? You know what I mean? Because that right there, and I'm sure everybody and their brother told that young man, hey, let it go. But stuff like that can mess with somebody's head, bro.
it
That's
can.
why I think I just got this feeling. I think they're gonna come out and just I think they're gonna manhandle North Carolina, or they're gonna be a lot. They're gonna be with them.
Well, here's the thing. You're gonna have to make Drake May and their offense beat you through the air. You're gonna have to. Obviously, we can't discredit what Drake May can do. Drake May is very, very talented.
Oh
You know,
yes,
and we know that he is not just a threat with his arm. He's a threat with his running ability. So I know that our front four is definitely gonna stack the box without a doubt. UNC's run game is not particularly the greatest. So if we can keep UNC one-dimensional, which means if you're going to beat us, you have to beat us here. Now, with that being said, we know UNC has a very, very, very talented receiver group. Obviously, the transfer out of Georgia Tech, Nate McCollum. They're getting Tez Walker back after his waivers have been lifted from the NCAA. And Tez Walker's a deep threat. So and then they're going to use their trios of tight ends, in short yards passes and in the red zone. So the moral of the story is that our secondary is definitely going to be tested without a doubt, and it's going to be a big game for our secondary. With
and
that also,
go ahead. No,
go ahead.
please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
With that also being said, because if Drake May does decide to run it, you need to keep a spy on him. Now, nothing against Corey Flagg. I think anybody that can do it. But personally, me, I'm putting either Wesley Saint, Kiko, and there's somebody else that I'm probably forgetting that's slipping my mind, but either one of those two. That's who I'm putting on. You need to put a spy on him, God forbid, if he starts getting out of the pocket. Now, the other thing is we need to keep penalties to a minimum, and we got to keep this out of the officials' hands. Yes, I know. I'm talking about last game, but still, that doesn't matter if it's
Uh-oh.
this game, the
Nice
game
comeback.
after that, you need to keep penalties to a minimum, and you can't keep constantly shooting yourself in the foot. Now, with that also said, TVD definitely does need to have a much better game than he did last week. Look, I know the outcome of the game, but still, when you're turning the ball over 3 times, you're not going to win a lot of games. You're just not.
And with the interceptions, it's like I don't. He wasn't himself.
No.
Yeah, we have not seen that all year.
And the thing is what Georgia Tech was playing. Georgia Tech was playing a lot of zone.
Yeah.
They were playing a lot of zone, and I think TVD has a hard time trying to read zone, which that, to me, I feel like he's going to need to figure that out sooner rather than later. And if he can't figure that out, at the end of the day, it's still Tyler Van Dyke's decision and what his, I guess you could say, agent or whoever decides if he's going to go to the NFL draft this year or probably come back another year. But that's a discussion for another time.
Right. Van Dyke, he is at the point in his career where he should be able to read zone. He should be able to.
He should be.
He should not be looking down receivers. And then on the flip side, Dawson should have seen that and tried to make some adjustments. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
You're talking about North Carolina. You base it. I'm not picking on you, but it's like you're basically saying the same thing that people were saying about A&M.
That's fair.
If you think about it, it's kind of like the same scenario. A&M had all these receivers, they had the tight, et cetera, et cetera. My big thing is North Carolina hasn't faced a defense like Miami. And what I mean by that is I'm sure they're going to have a little more pressure.
Yeah.
I think they'll have it. I really feel it's going to be a whole different team out there tomorrow night. Just my opinion.
No, and I agree.
And it better be.
No. And to be honest with you, I don't think this coaching staff and these players, what's and I know in the past, Miami teams like a loss like this, we would start going down the skid. That's why not only is this a game, this a big game. Well, actually, I should rather say huge game in itself, because we're also talking about, a divisions ACC, number one. Number two, we're talking about going into the number 12 ranked UNC up at Chapel Hill, prime time, you know, and again, it goes back to, what is the mental state of these players, and the same thing, I know we're talking about players here, but where's these coaches' heads at as well? Is that still affecting them? And we would, as fans, would hope not, and I don't think it is, you know, and I was talking to a couple other people today, up in a space, like, look, here's the deal. These guys, and I go back to one of the tweets that DJ Williams put out. He put out a tweet saying, if Miami can win their next 4 games, talking about UNC, Clemson, boy, who else am I forgetting?
I got my schedule right here. See,
Virginia.
we're not real fans, Bryce. We don't have the schedule memorized.
It would be
Yeah.
UNC, Clemson, Virginia, and NC State.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you win those next 4 games, you go into Florida State, which could have quite a bit of playoff implications, potentially, but we don't know. With that being said, that's not the reason why I'm saying this. He put out a photo that says bunker mentality. You have to have that type of mentality. Like, look, it is what it is. First of all, yeah, it does it bug us that, every time that we come out of a bye week, we're not prepared and we end up losing again? Yes. I don't know why we're still having these issues, but apparently we're still having these issues. With that also being said, these guys still have a lot to play for. You got, what week are we on, man?
Week
We're on
5, 6. Well, I guess for our schedule purposes, it's
it'd be
week 6.
6, yeah.
But I think the official NCAA week is like number 7. But regardless, this is our sixth game.
Yeah. So you still have quite a few games left.
Yeah, we're only at the halfway point.
Yeah. So and then going back to why this game is so big. Not only is it big from a mental standpoint, and from trying to bounce back after getting your heart ripped out from Georgia Tech. This also is going to show Miami fans, like, okay, this isn't the same old Miami that we have gotten in the past. Like, this isn't the same Miami teams like, oh, we lost. Now we're going to hang our heads and we're going to drop game after game after game after game. No. Show us and the world that we're not that same Miami team anymore, that there's a culture change, which I believe there is, that we're going to go into Chapel Hill and shock UNC. Now, me personally, if you're going to ask me, how do I feel about this game? I think Miami can win this game. But at the same time, it's also a coin flip, because we know how good UNC is. We know UNC is undefeated.
Well, I'm gonna interrupt you right there, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody keeps talking about how good North Carolina is, but the fact of the matter is, I looked at their last 5 games they played on the ESPN app, and they really have not played anybody. Matter of fact, let me get this loaded up here.
Who was their last 5 games?
That's what I'm trying to get to right now.
Because I'm curious.
Okay, so North Carolina's last 5 games. They opened up against South Carolina and won 31-17.
Okay.
Then they played App State, and that's where they won 40-34 in double overtime.
Okay.
Then they played Minnesota and
Yeah,
won
Minnesota.
31-13.
Yeah, Minnesota's not that
Then
good.
they played Pittsburgh, won 41-24, and then played Syracuse and won 40-7. So, with that being said, I mean, even if you look at the numbers,
True.
all the numbers so far, thus far in the season, it's tit for tat.
It is.
You know, they have a few more yards passing. They don't have the yards rushing. Okay.
No.
They're giving up a few more yards on defense than Miami is. But other than that, you know, they're it looks like their run defense is giving up a 2-1 to my against versus Miami stats. So what I'm getting at is, again, I'm not. And Phil, I want your opinion on this. I know you're sitting there polishing those shoes, but you know, all we've heard is Drake May, Drake May, Drake May, Drake May, Drake May, Drake May. But he hasn't, North Carolina as a team hasn't really played anybody. Neither is Miami. Okay, yeah, we can say A&M. That seems to be our go-to game. But in the grand scheme of things, neither Miami nor North Carolina has really played anybody, if that makes any sense. So, Phil, I want your unadulterated opinion. Do you think Drake May is worthy of all the hype they're giving him? Or do you think he deserves more of it? What's your thoughts on Mr. May?
As of right now, he's number 2 quarterback in the draft coming up, assuming Caleb Williams is going in. So I think he's overhyped.
Well, again, you know, okay, I'm gonna ask you another question, Phil, because there was some things coming to my mind while Bryce was talking, and Bryce is always excellent points.
He's not a bad quarterback. I just think he's overhyped.
Kind of like Florida State. But anyway, so and so Phil, this is for you and Bryce. If you want to chime in, you can after Phil. I want Phil to talk first. I got to get Phil involved. Got to warm him up for tonight's show. Do you think Miami, if Miami does do a bye week, is that when we should come out the next week and play a Bethune-Cookman?
I mean, I want to play a good team coming off the bye week. I mean, I would like to versus Cookman because we're gonna get an easy win, hopefully. But you know, I mean, I doubt the schedule makers will give us that.
Well, here's the reason why I say it. It's because unless you've been living under a rock or you just became a Miami fan today, Bryce talked about it, and it's so true.
We do bad on bye week.
Our record is atrocious coming off a bye week. Atrocious. I don't have the numbers,
Since
but I guarantee you we probably have, what was that?
Since 2016. We
You know,
have lost every game coming out of the bye week.
And even before that, I mean, I'm almost willing, because I can't tell you how many times it's like, y'all had 2 weeks to prepare, and this is what you come up with, you know? But I digress. So I'm thinking, you know, our win-loss record, we probably have, and I'd have to look at it, but I'd be willing to say it's probably almost 2 losses for every win coming after a bye week. I bet you it's horrible. That's why my thinking is, you know, if you're going to have a bye week, have you play some, you know, have it early or something, but come back and play somebody like a Bethune, somebody a little lesser. That way you kind of get out the funk, because, you know, that seems to be our shtick right now, is the bye week blunder.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil, you thinking we should actually play somebody better?
I mean, well, really, it just depends how we play coming up into the seasons after. That's first, but I mean, I wouldn't mind playing like Georgia Tech before the bye week and then Temple the week after, maybe.
Right. And I know it all depends on conference play and stuff. But me personally, I'd rather see the bye week right smack dab in the middle of the season if possible, and then play somebody of a lower caliber
Like it's such a
until
little worse.
until they get out of this funk, man. You know? Oh, but yeah, I really think that tomorrow's game is going to be a lot better than people think. You know, I don't,
I would agree with that.
I do not foresee. What did that dude say? He had that Tar Heel dude. He said like 31-17 North Carolina or some crap like that.
I mean, that's
You know,
realistic as a North Carolina fan.
I mean, I could honestly see another. I mean, we could have like a 40-37. Or we could have another 41-30. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a good game. I really do think it's going to be a good game.
Back and forth.
But North Carolina and Drake May has not faced a defense like Miami. I said the same thing against the A&M at the A&M game, and I'm saying it now. Our defense has been, very quietly taking care of business. I think even last week they didn't give up, but what, 100.5 total yards offense? It was less than 200. I know that.
It was, I want to say 166.
Yeah, I mean, dude, think about that for a second. Our defense has been quietly taking care of business. And I believe that they'll take care of business again tomorrow. The defense has been pretty solid. Yeah, there's been some knucklehead plays here and there, but I think the defense is going to be all right.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
No, I agree. And going to your back to your question that you posed to me and Phil about the bye week.
That's right. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. See, I wouldn't mind having a bye week and then playing like a lesser opponent like Bethune-Cookman, but I also wouldn't mind if we play a quality opponent as well. Like I'm talking about an opponent that's a little bit better than Bethune-Cookman to weigh.
Oh, I mean, okay, you can even do like a Temple, Miami of Ohio, something around that neighborhood.
Yeah. Or you can even play, like Phil said, you could play one in-conference game before the bye week, go into the bye week, and then go play a lesser
We can get
opponent.
SMU because now they're in the ACC.
You could get SMU, Cal, and I forget who else, but
Stanford.
10:30 at night.
ACC after dark.
I don't. That's another excellent topic to discuss, but I don't want to get into anything real heavy right now because Coop's going to be on in about 10 minutes, and I don't want to take away from that. But man, look, I have a hard time getting ready for the late game. I love that 3:30 afternoon game. I love it. To me, that's perfect time. But the late game, like tomorrow, man, it's like I just can't wait for it to get here. You know what I mean? And then you sit there and talk about playing
first, though.
Right, but then you start talking about playing, at after 10 o'clock Eastern time. I'm like, oh my god, shoot, I'm gonna have to just
in Stanford though.
Yeah, those are late games, and those are late. Like the game that's supposed to be on tonight, Stanford and Colorado. That's a 10 p.m. kickoff, bro.
Right, that could be us.
Yeah. That's a late,
maybe twice a year.
Yeah, that's a late night game.
Pac-12 team, not just Stanford.
Yeah.
I mean, that late night game is going to cut into my early morning F1 time. I might as well just stay up and make a party out of it.
Post game show 3 a.m.
Hey, bro. If it is, it is. It ain't, it ain't. I don't know. But
Hey,
anyway,
Jordan, I got a question for you. Don't know if you were talking about it earlier, but off topic of Miami. What you think about that Oregon Washington game? What's your thoughts on that?
Game of the week.
I'm curious. I think that's going to be one of those. Okay, is Washington as good as they're saying they are? Is Oregon as good as they showing they are? So it's going to be one of those telltale games.
I agree.
Honestly,
And they both got a tough schedule coming up.
I do that Pac-12 in its final days. It's crazy, dude. It's like wow. But
We had that UCLA, Oregon State,
yeah,
Some tough
Michigan
games.
State.
I just hope that Oregon Washington game is as entertaining as that Texas Oklahoma game was last week.
That was a good game, man.
That man, that was one of the better games that I had seen.
You know, it's funny. I was watching West Virginia and Houston last night, bro. That was a crazy ending. Absolutely crazy. I mean, West Virginia had that game won, 20 seconds left on the clock,
Uh-oh.
get penalized for a celebration.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
the Miami thing to do.
it is a Miami thing to do.
Yeah, that Houston game on Thursday was wild.
Yeah. I know SMU was playing yesterday. Got to see our former Canes. Got to see Keyshawn, Brinson, Knighton, play. They looked good. I mean, honestly, that the West Virginia and Houston game was definitely the game to watch. But I mean,
Even though it
yeah,
was on a Thursday, so more people was watching the NFL. So I don't think a lot
to
of
be
people
honest,
tuned in.
I knew the NFL was on yesterday, but man, I was like, Kansas City Chiefs and Denver Broncos. Let's be
Taylor
real.
Swift.
I would have. And we're gonna wrap this up in just a second, but I would have thought Kansas City would have done at least. I mean, hell, the Dolphins put 70 on them. You know, I really thought the game was going to be a lot more lopsided than what it was. But
You really do gotta give credit to even though I didn't watch the game, but you definitely do have to give credit for the Denver Broncos for playing as hard as they did, especially against a pretty good Kansas City
yeah,
Chief
exactly,
team.
right.
But same limelight, Denver Broncos got some issues. Carolina Panthers got some issues too.
But they did beat
And
the Bills. No, that wasn't the
the Jets
no
beat
no no.
I know the Jets
Who
beat the
who
Bills.
who did the Bills play?
Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
Jaguars.
For some reason, I get Jacksonville and Carolina confused. Don't ask me how I do it, but I do it sometimes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Carolina. Yeah, Port Carolina's. Wow. Have they won a game yet?
No, they're on 5.
Yeah.
They're
And
they're
that's
on they're on 5. And then I don't know why they keep putting the Giants on prime time, bro.
you noticed that too, huh?
I
Giants
did
fans
notice.
with the backup quarterback.
I did notice that too. Like look, Daniel Jones is not that good.
It's Tyrod
He has
Taylor though.
no offensive line whatsoever. Their best running back is out.
Now you got Tyrod Taylor coming in.
And then across the yonder you have the Patriots who have no idea who their quarterback is.
I love it. I love it.
I know, I love it too.
Yeah,
All
Belichick
all
coming
those,
wild.
the last 2 decades of nothing but Pat's this, Pat. I love it. I love it.
No, I do too. But yeah, I think the Dolphins will definitely take care of business against the Panthers. It's that Eagles game
I thought,
that
yeah,
it's
yeah.
that game that they're gonna be tested in that game.
And, I don't want to turn this into a Dolphins show, but, if they can get that defense tightened up just a little bit, they'll be all right.
They definitely do.
That
I
Dolphin
that was
KC
that
game's gonna be crazy.
that was definitely their biggest issue going into that Buffalo Bills game
Yeah.
because it's Man, and this is for any team. I don't care if you're NFL, college. It is hard to keep your team in a game when your defense is not helping you out and you're putting a lot of pressure on that offense.
Oh yeah.
So that's why that Eagles game is definitely going to be their next challenge, and I hope the defense step up. I hope we get Jalen Phillips back. I hope we get our boy back. You know, um, but yeah, it's been fun. NFL's
What a
been
lucky man
fun.
he is. Gets to play college and NFL in the same stadium.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Always fun time. And Phil, you're getting so good. I am so proud of you, Phil. You're getting so much better. So I'm rooting for you to get in tonight, Phil. I'm rooting for you. Okay. And when you
Give
get
me your secret to get first.
when you get in and you get on the phone, take advantage of that situation. Don't worry about what anybody else says. We got you back, buddy. All right. So it's about what's about 5 minutes till Coop comes on. And one thing I do not want to do is cut into his action, but should be a pretty good show tonight. But again, thank you guys for stopping in. Phil, Bryce, Crip. I don't know if you're still here or not. And if anybody else is out there on the back row, we appreciate you stopping by.
Melissa made her on her plane. She said in the night before in the chat with Coops.
Well, it happens. It is what it is, I guess. So again, thank you guys. Let's go Canes. Tomorrow I'll probably I'll probably start my post game probably about, I guess we'll do a 5 o'clock. We'll do a 5 o'clock kickoff show. And then we'll go from there. So thank y'all. Y'all stay alert, stay tuned, and we will see y'all later. Peace, love, and soul to everybody. Bye.